Most people live their entire lives in the middle, not struggling, but not thriving, not failing, but not winning. They settle for average, not because they lack potential, not because they are incapable of more, but because they never decide to demand more from themselves. They never take the steps necessary to break free from mediocrity and move toward real success, genuine riches, and true success. The difference between an average life and a life of fortune is not luck. It is not talent. It is not intelligence. It is decision. It is the willingness to do what most people will not, to take actions that most people avoid, to build habits that most people ignore, because success is not something you wait for, it is something you create. There is a path to fortune, but it is a path that few take, not because it is hidden, not because it is complicated, but because it requires a level of discipline. Commitment that most people are unwilling to give. The road to wealth is available to everyone, but the price of entry is high. It requires effort, sacrifice, and a relentless refusal to accept anything less than greatness. And that is why most people remain average. They dream of more, but they never take the necessary steps to become more. They want success, but they are not willing to pay the price of success. They want wealth, but they do not change the way they think, the way they act, the way they operate. And because of that, they stay exactly where they are year after year, decade after decade, always. Wondering why nothing changes. But here's the truth: fortune is not reserved for the lucky. It is not given to a select few. It is available to anyone who is willing to do the work, make the shifts, and commit to the process. It is available to anyone who is willing to take control of their life and move with purpose. And if you are ready to do that, if you are ready to step away from average and move toward extraordinary, then there are 5 steps that will take you there. These steps are not optional. They are not for the ones looking for an easy way out. They are not for the ones who want success handed to them. These are the steps for those who are ready to demand more, ready to become more, ready to take their life to a level that most people will never reach. The steps are simple, but they are not easy. They require change. They require discipline. They require a new way of thinking. A new way of thinking, a new way of acting, and a new standard for how you live every single day. But if you are willing to commit, if you are willing to step up, if you are willing to follow through, you will not just move from average to success, you will move from average to fortune. The first step to getting from fortune is altering the way you think. Wealth is not produced by luck. It is not an accident. It is a byproduct of how you think, how you perceive the world, and how you make decisions. Most individuals stay average because they think like typical people. They have the same beliefs, same concerns, and because of that, they obtain the same results. If you want to move toward fortune, you must reprogram your mind. You must train yourself to think differently than the majority. Because the majority live in limitation. They believe success is for other people. They believe money is hard to earn. They believe wealth is only for those who got lucky. And because they believe that their actions reinforce that everything you do is a reflection of what you believe. If you believe making money is difficult, you will never see the opportunities in front of you. If you believe success is out of reach, you will never take the risks required to achieve it. If you believe you are destined to stay where you are, you will never push yourself to go beyond it. And this is why the first step is so crucial. You cannot create a fortune with an average mindset. You cannot build wealth. So, who is struggling? You must change the way you think before anything else changes. Winners think differently. They see opportunities. Where others see obstacles, they see lessons. Where others see failure, they see potential. Where others see limitations, they do not linger on what is missing. They focus on what is achievable. They do not whine about their circumstances. They ask, how can I change this? They do not sit around wishing for success. They create it through action, through strategy, through constant concentration. If you want to get from mediocre to riches, you must teach Viz, must teach your mind to act like a healthy person. This involves removing ideas of scarcity. This implies replacing uncertainty with certainty. This entails changing from excuses to solutions. Most people are programmed for limitation from an early age. They are taught to be realistic. They are told not to expect too much. They are warned about the risks of failure, and because of that, they grow up believing that success is difficult, that wealth is rare, that their best option is to play at safety does not create wealth. Does not build wealth following the average road, can only lead to average outcomes. And if you can only lead to average outcomes and are serious about climbing above, you must unlearn everything that has been holding you trapped. The affluent do not think like the ordinary. They do not allow fear dominate them. They do not let society tell them what is achievable. They do not waste time worrying about things. They train their mind to focus on creativity, growth, and opportunity. They expect success. They believe in their ability to achieve it. And because they believe it, they take actions that move them closer to it every single day. And that is the key. It is not just about positive thinking. It is not just about motivation. It is about conditioning your mind to see the world differently, to see yourself differently, to operate from a place of certainty instead of doubt. If you want to go from average to fortune, you must start training your mind today. You must start replacing every empowering one. You must stop waiting for proof and start deciding that success is inevitable. You must think like a wealthy person before you are wealthy, because your mind will create your reality. And if your mind is still programmed for average, you will stay average no matter how hard you work most. People think success starts with action. It does not. Success starts in the mind, because every action you take is a reflection of what you believe. Every decision you make is based on what you think is possible. Every risk you take or refuse to take comes down to what you believe about yourself and your such delightful future. So ask yourself, what do I believe about money? What do I believe about success? What do I believe about my own potential? Because if your beliefs are still rooted in limitation, no amount of effort will change your situation. You must reprogram yourself for wealth. Before wealth. For wealth can arrive, this is why the rich keep getting richer and the poor stay poor. It is not just about money. It is about mindset. The wealthy think in terms of growth, expansion, and investment. The poor think in terms of limitation, survival, and scarcity. And until you shift your mind, you will always be stuck in the same cycle. But once you shift, once you start thinking like the wealthy, operating like the wealthy, making decisions like the wealthy, your entire world begins to change. Opportunities appear. Where there were none before, solutions replace obstacles. Confidence replaces hesitation. And because your mind is now aligned with fortune, your actions will follow. The first step to going from average to fortune is not about money. It is not about skills. It is not about external success. It is about who you become on the inside. Because once your mind is locked into success, everything else will fall into place. So, starting today, eliminate every thought of doubt. Stop thinking like the average. Stop focusing on what you do not have. Stop letting the past dictate your future. Start training yourself to think like someone who's destined for wealth. Start developing the mindset of success. Start. Yours, because once your mind is wired for success, nothing can stop you from achieving it. The second step to going from average to fortune is taking massive, relentless action. Changing the way you think is the foundation. But without action, nothing happens. Most people understand this intellectually. They do not live it. They spend time planning, thinking, talking about what they want. But they never move. They hesitate. They wait for the perfect time. They overanalyze. And in the end, they stay exactly where they are winners. Do not wait. They do not sit around waiting for inspiration to strike, they act. They take bold steps forward before they feel ready. They understand that progress is made through movement, not through thought alone. They understand that momentum is created by action, not by waiting for motivation. Most individuals get locked in paralysis by analysis. They persuade themselves they need more information. They tell themselves they need to be 100% ready before they begin. But here's the truth: you will never be entirely ready. There will never be a perfect time if you wait until you have everything figured out. You will never start. And if you never start, you will never succeed. The most successful people in the world are not the ones who knew everything before they began. They are the ones who started before they knew everything. They took the first step even when they were unsure. They learn as they went. They adapted along the way. And because of that, they built momentum, while everyone else was still stuck in their head. And that is the key. Momentum is everything. Action creates energy, creates confidence. Confidence creates results, and results create even more action. But it all starts with that first move. It starts with doing something, anything that moves you forward, because once you are in motion, it is much easier to keep going. But here is what separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck. Winners take action every single day. They do not take massive action once. Stop. They do not go all in for a week and then burn out. They create consistent habits of execution. They show up, they do the work. They move forward no matter what. Most people only take action when they feel like it, when they are excited, when things are going well. But the people who build fortune, they take action even when they do not feel like it. They push through resistance. They keep going when it is inconvenient. They refuse to let emotions, circumstances, or excuses stop them. And this is where most people fail. They start strong, but as soon as they face difficulty, they slow down. As soon as... Results are not immediate. They stop as soon as the excitement wears off. They return to their old habits. But success does not come from bursts of effort. It comes from relentless consistency. Winners do not ask themselves, should I do this today? They do not negotiate with themselves. They do not let their mind talk them out of action. They decide in advance that they will take action every single day. And because of that, they build unstoppable momentum. If you want to go from average to fortune, you must create a non-negotiable standard of action. You must remove hesitation from your... Eliminate excuses, eliminate distractions, and devote entirely to execution. For without execution, nothing changes. Then here's the secret. The more action you do, the less fear you have. Most people assume fear stops them from taking action. However, the contrary is true. Taking action is what eliminates dread, since fear exists in the waiting. Worry rises in reluctance. But the instant you start moving, fear begins to fade. Think about the last time you hesitated before doing something difficult. Maybe you wanted to speak up, but you waited too long, and the moment passed. Maybe you wanted to take any weary rise opportunity. But you second-guessed yourself, and it slipped away that hesitation is what kills dreams. Because hesitation allows fear to creep in. Winners do not hesitate. They do not wait for permission. They do not wait until they feel 100% ready. They count down from 5, and they move. They take the first step, they make the first call, they send the first email. They start before they are comfortable, and because of that, they achieve things most people never will. And here is something most people never think about: the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to start. You tell yourself, I will do it. Tomorrow you are training your mind to procrastinate if you tell yourself, I will start when the time is right. You are programming yourself to delay action. But if you start now, if you build the habit of immediate action, your mind begins to expect it. It becomes automatic. And that where the real magic happens, when taking action becomes who you are instead of something you have to force yourself to do. This is how winners operate. They do not think about whether they should take action. They just do it. They do not allow doubt to creep in. They move before doubt has a chance to stop. Train themselves to act fast, think fast, and execute without hesitation. And because of that, they achieve more in 1 year than most people do in a lifetime. But here is the truth. Massive action alone is not enough. You must be strategic, because effort without direction is wasted energy. You must be laser focused on what moves the needle. You must identify the actions that will generate the biggest results. You must be disciplined enough to avoid distractions, ignore meaningless tasks, and focus on what actually creates fortune. Most individuals are busy, but they are not productive. They work hard, but they work hard. But they do not work efficiently. They put in effort. But they are not going forward because they are focused on the wrong things. Winners do not waste time. They focus on high-impact actions. They discover the 20% of efforts that yield 80% of outcomes. They double down on what works, and they remove everything else. And this is how you go from average to fortune. You take massive, relentless, strategic action every single day. You do not wait for the right time. Forward, and you do it again and again and again till success is inevitable. Because action is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. And the more action you take, the faster you will cross that bridge. The third step to going from average to fortune is multiplying your foods. Sound does not come to those who simply work hard. It does not come to those who stay busy. It comes to those who make themselves valuable to the marketplace, to their industry, to the world. The more valuable you become. Opportunities flow to you. For your time, your knowledge, your skills, the more valuable you become, the faster you move from mediocre to fortune. Most people struggle financially, not because they do not work hard, but because they have not increased their value. They stay stuck in the same place, doing the same things, operating. The same level while expecting their results to change, but fortune is not built through effort alone. It is built by leveraging your value. Winners understand this. They do not just work harder, they work smarter. They constantly seek ways to improve their skills, expand their knowledge, and increase impact they can create. They know that money follows value, and if you want to increase your income, you must first increase what you bring to the table. This is the formula. The more valuable you are, the more wealth you attract if you are struggling financially. It is not a money problem. It is a problem. You must become irreplaceable. You must become a master at what you do. You must develop skills so strong that people have no choice but to pay you, promote you, invest in you, and recognize you as a leader in your space. The biggest mistake most people make is focusing only on hard work instead of high-value work. They believe that if they just work harder, if they just put in more hours, they will get ahead. But that is not how wealth is created, because time is limited. Effort is limited. You cannot work 100 times harder than everyone else. But you can be 100 times more valuable. And that secret, you must focus on multiplying your value. You must identify what skill, what knowledge, what expertise will set you apart, and you must become obsessed with mastering it. You must become obsessed with mastering it. You must become so good that people cannot ignore you. This is why the wealthy continue to get wealthier, because they invest in themselves. They learn faster, they adapt quicker, they develop rare skills that few others have, and because of that, they own their future. They do not depend on anyone else. They do not fear losing their job. They do not worry about competition, because they are the competition. So the question is, are you actively increasing your value every day? Are you studying, practicing, improving? Are you becoming an expert in your field? Or are you just going through the motions, doing the same things at the same level, expecting things to change? The fastest way to increase your income is to increase double your income. You must double your skill set. If you want to create wealth, you must become a person of such value that wealth naturally flows to you. You must put yourself in a position where you are so good at what you do that people feel like they cannot afford to not pay you. Some. No. Most people never realize the highest paid people in the world are not the hardest workers. They are the most skilled problem solvers. They do not just work longer hours, they solve bigger problems. They think bigger, they operate at a higher level. And because of that, they are paid at a higher level money. Follows those who bring solutions to the world. If you want to increase your income, find bigger problems to solve. If you want to build wealth, become the person who provides answers that others cannot. The more you position yourself as someone who delivers results, the more people will seek you out. The more you make yourself indispensable, the more you can write your own paycheck. This is how winners think. They do not just ask, how can I make more money? They ask, how can I become more valuable? Because they know that money is a reflection of value, and the more valuable they become, the more money. Opportunities and success, they attract. So if you want to go from average to fortune, you must dedicate yourself to constant growth. You must study more than others. You must train harder than others. You must become a student of success, learning from those who have done it before, applying what works, and developing a level of expertise that sets you apart. And once you do that, once you shift from just working hard to working smart, from just putting an effort to multiplying your value, you will start to see your income, your influence, and your success multiply as well. Most people think what they get, but winners understand that success is about who they become. If you want to create wealth, you must become the kind of person who naturally attracts wealth. And that happens by constantly increasing your value day after day, year after year, until fortune is inevitable. So ask yourself now. Actively increasing my value every day. Am I investing in myself? Am I learning, practicing, improving? Or am I staying the same, hoping things will change? Cause the only way to create a fortune is to become so valuable that wealth is no longer a question. It is a guarantee. The fourth stage to rising from ordinary to wealthy is developing powerful relationships. Success is not a solo game. Riches is not developed in isolation. Every significant chance, every financial breakthrough, every jump from mediocre to extraordinary comes via people, the correct connections, the appropriate mentors. May accelerate your career quicker than anything else. Most people try to do everything alone. They believe that if they just work harder, if they just grind longer, they will eventually succeed. But winners understand something different. It is not just about what you know. It is about who you know. It is about who you know. More importantly, who knows you. If you want to build fortune, you must be intentional about who you surround yourself with, because the people in your life will either elevate you or hold you back. They will only challenge you to rise or keep you comfortable at the level you're at. They will either push you toward success or pull you toward mediocrity. Look at the individuals in your life right now. Are they ambitious? Are they disciplined? Are they going toward success? Or are they making excuses, settling for mediocre, and encouraging the same limited mindset that keeps most people trapped? Because you surround yourself with average. You will stay average if you surround yourself with winners. You will become a winner. Winners actively set themselves in circumstances that encourage them to level up. They seek out mentors who have previously accomplished what they want, who challenge them to dream larger, work harder, and push beyond their boundaries. They do not waste time with persons who sap their energy, provide negativity, or fuel their doubts. If you want to go from average to fortune, you must build relationships with people who are already living at the level. Want to reach you must put yourself in rooms where success is normal. You must spend time with people who think in terms of growth, opportunity, and abundance, because the more you surround yourself with those mindsets, the more they become your own. relationships to happen by chance. They hope that success-minded people will just appear in their life. But winners are different. They are proactive about building relationships. They seek out successful people. They create opportunities to connect. They add value to those they want to learn from. Here is the secret. The fastest way to build powerful relationships is to bring value first. Most people approach networking the wrong way. They show up looking for what they can get. They ask for favors. But winners, they build relationships by giving value first. They offer insights. They share opportunities. They help without expecting anything in return. And because of that, they attract powerful allies who are eager to help them succeed. If you want to develop fortune, you must become useful to valuable individuals. You must position yourself as someone who brings solutions, who solves problems, who makes life easier for those who are already successful. Because the more value you provide, the more success-minded people will want to be around you. And here's something most people never realize. Your network determines your net worth. The higher the level of people you associate with, the higher your standards become, the higher your standards, the higher your results. If you want to build wealth, you must be in conversations where wealth is the standard. If you want to achieve massive success, you must be around people who expect nothing less. The reason most people never fortune is because they stay surrounded by people who reinforce average thinking, people who tell them to be realistic, people who make excuses, people who focus on what is missing instead of what is possible. And if you let those voices into your mind, they will influence your actions. They will lower your standards. They will keep you in the same place year after year. But if you surround yourself with people who are winning, if you spend time with high achievers, if you seek out mentors who have built fortune, work ethic and results will begin to shift because success is contagious. When you are in an environment where winning is normal, you rise to that level naturally. And this is why relationships matter, because the right relationships will pull you up faster than anything else. The appropriate mentor might give you insights that spare you years of hardship. The right business partner can open doors that you never knew existed. The right network can connect you to opportunities that would have taken a lifetime to reach on your own. So ask yourself, who do I need to connect with? Who? Want to be, who do I need to learn from, study, and align myself with? And more importantly, what value can I bring to them? Because wealth is not built alone. Success is not created in isolation. Fortune is a team sport. And if you want to win, you must build the right team. You must put yourself in the right rooms. You must surround yourself with people who expect greatness, demand more from themselves, and push you to do the same. This is what winners do. They do not try to figure it all out on their own. They do not waste time with the wrong people. They strategically build relationships that accelerate their growth, expand their opportunities, and elevate their entire way of thinking. And once you do that, once you align yourself with the right people, once you create powerful relationships that open doors, once you place yourself in environments where success standard, your path to fortune will be unlimited. So starting today, make a decision. No more wasting time with people who hold you back. No more small thinking. No more waiting for opportunities to come to you. They'll build your network, invest in relationships, connect with winners. We'll follow the fifth and final step to going from average to fortune is mastering.